Hey, so what if I told you that you could use a fusion reactor to cook your food and run your life? Well, you can. With today's technology, you can use your very own fusion reactor. Now, I'm not talking about something that you keep at your house. I'm talking about something that, runs life on Earth, like the sun. That's right, the sun is a fusion reactor. Way up there in space, behind me. I don't know if it's really behind me, but you know what I mean. And the sun is, it's the furnace, the engine that powers all life on Earth through photosynthesis, which of course is the beginning of the food web. And we're part of that food web. But what am I talking about when I say using the sun to power your life? Well, obviously it runs nature, which we're a part of, but there's also a way you can tap into the sun using technology. Check this out. So this is my solar-powered kitchen and a few other things. It's not just a kitchen, there's a lot going on here. So I'm going to take you on a little tour through how it works. By the way, that is my dog, Tangy. She just loves the sun. So she's solar-powered as well. But anyway, let's take a look at all these cool devices. First we have the solar table. You'll notice that it is a folding table. It has over here on this end a 60-watt solar module built into the top of the table. Underneath, there's a lead we can detach. And then plug this lead into this battery bank. Okay, it's plugged in and charging. Kind of hard to see, but the blue light is blinking. And then we put the battery bank back down here into this pouch. What's it charging? The GoSun Chill. Let's pull it out. So the Chill is a cooler. This cooler has been on for the last several hours being powered by the power bank that you saw me put in the pouch. Let's check out the inside of the cooler. And it's nice and cool. I have some of these cooler packs that will keep the cooler colder longer. But this cooler runs on sunshine. It's really hard to see because it's so bright, but I have it set at 37 degrees. There's a USB plug up here for charging whatever you need to charge. It has a handle. Also on the back there are two tie downs and bottle opener at the bottom. Push the cooler back under. Sorry about the sharp shadow on the ground of myself with my camera, but that's just the way it is on such a bright day. So on top of the table you can see there are two different stoves. These are solar stoves. Take a look at this. This is the GoSun Fusion. And the Fusion is a remarkable solar oven. Works very well. Here's the cooking tray. You can see there's nothing in it, but I do have something to add so we can give this stove a good test. Here are some yummy veggies that we're going to give. It's going to give the stove a really good test and see how well it will cook. If you notice over on the other end there, see that little device? That is a sundial, and it allows you to get the stove in the perfect position, perpendicular to the sun, for cooking. All you have to do is get the spot of the sun underneath the red dot, like that, and then you wait. You want to make sure you keep your cooking tray turned so it's not going to be dumping food out into the inside of the stove, but not a big deal. And we just wait. Now, if it was cloudy, there's a really neat feature of this stove. If it was cloudy or dark, all you would need to do is plug this cable into the cooking tray and then plug the other end into the power bank and then turn it on. When you turn it on, it sends power to a heating coil, a heating element on the bottom of the cooking tray, heating up your food. So you can cook with this solar stove indoors in the dark without the sun. But if you charge the power bank using solar power, you're still powering the stove on sunshine. How does that work? Well, let me show you. So over here in the corner of the porch, I have a solar charging station set up. There's all kinds of interesting solar gizmos working right now. pulling power from that giant fusion reactor in space, 93 million miles away. Let's take a look at the biggest. This big one in the middle is made by GoSun, as you can see. And it is charging a power bank right up there. This power bank is amazing. It has 3 USB ports, a 12-volt plug. If I can get it open. There you go. And right now it's plugged in through this black cable to the fold-out solar panel. Inside this pouch, see there, solar connector with 1 USB port. And then at the same time, the power bank is charging a smaller solar-powered power bank. Its solar panel isn't that effective, but it does provide some charge for the battery. But by far, the easiest way to fill this one up is to use either a larger power bank or just direct charge straight from the fold-out array. Up here, I have it set up to where the small power bank is charging. This is an air pollution monitoring device called a Flow. Pretty neat little thing. Check it out online. It's fully charged now. As you can see, the little green light. It's hard to see it, but it is fully charged. Up here on the top, we have a solar light that is inflatable or deflatable, however you want it. If you want to use it for like tents and such. A solar flashlight. And I built this one myself. This is a solar backpack style charger. If you want to take a look what's inside of it. I just attached 2 dry boxes to a small $25 solar module that I bought on eBay. And you pop this open. Inside this otter box, whoa, there is a little power module controller, and then here we have it's a RAV power. It's older, but it works. Just a small power bank with 2 USB plugs. It's been charging all morning, probably pretty much full by now. Over here, this is a little sun. It's a tiny little light that it has a tiny solar module on the back, charges up the light, and the light works, of course, whenever you want to use it. Little LED light, clips onto anything. If you buy a product from Little Sun, they donate money to help people in parts of the world where they do not have electricity and need power and light. So it's really a good cause. So check out Little Sun. Little Sun. Over here I have a Watts of Love. This is a flashlight, as you can see. It's really hard to see during the day. It's so bright out here, but it's a very bright LED flashlight with several different levels. On both sides you have USB ports, one over here as well. It's being charged by a small solar panel down here. It's only 4 watts, 10 volts, but it's plenty to charge this little light. This little light also has a radio built in on this side. There's a radio, there's a micro SD card slot. It has a hook for hanging it above your whatever, a table or structure. And right now I'm charging camera batteries for the camera that I'm using to film this. Watts of Love is also a wonderful company if you are wanting to support helping people in areas of the world where they do not have electricity and need power and light. This device also comes with this really nice little dongle, if that's the correct term, that has several different charge connectors on the end. The reason this light was created was the person who designed it, the Watts of Love company, had traveled to a foreign country, and I forget which country it was, but the information is all on the website, Watts of Love. And they had noticed how so many people, especially children and elderly, were at home, and when they were trying to do work at home, do their homework after they came home from school, or just live, as soon as it got dark, they would have to crank up kerosene heaters and kerosene lamps, and then their air quality would drop inside their houses, and people were suffering from all kinds of sicknesses and diseases and ailments because of bad air. And so the founders of Watts of Love decided to come up with a solution, and the Watts of Love light is the solution. And if you buy one, you can send it to people through their website, through Watts of Love. You can send it to people in need all around the world. And then, using this dongle, they can charge their phones, because another one of their problems was they would have to go to town to charge their phone, and also go to town to get supplies such as kerosene. Well, the Watts of Love removes all of those needs. They don't have to go to town to get kerosene. They don't have to go to town to charge their phone. They can do it all at home. Charge your phone, have light for doing your homework and seeing in your house at night. So therefore you turn off the kerosene and your health gets better. You save money, and it's good for everyone. Down at my feet, I have another GoSun stove. This is the original GoSun Sport. And it does have a much smaller cooking tray than the big monster Fusion up here, but it still cooks very well, and I will cook some food in there shortly. Over on the other side of the table, let's take a look at the little GoSun, the GoSun Go. This is a really cute little stove. There we go. The GoSun Go is small, but it's perfect for one person, for a nice little meal. There you go. There you go. Haha. Anyway, the GoSun Go, we'll cook something in that in a few minutes as well, but I don't want to leave it open until I'm going to cook, because with these stoves, you don't want to heat them up before putting the food in. You don't want to preheat them. You want to cook when you're ready to cook. And then if you were to put cold food in a hot stove, you could shock the stove. It's one of the limitations, but these stoves work wonderfully. I've been using them for years, and they work so well if you have sun. If you don't have sun, then you'll need the Fusion, because the Fusion has the ability to cook in the dark, as I mentioned earlier. And I have yet another solar charger over here. This is a Goal Zero. It's a small Goal Zero. They make several different amazing products now. This one, it's small, folds up. You can put it on your backpack, put it on the outside of your tent. This one's been charging a phone, and the phone is fully charged. So we'll disconnect that. In the back here also, there's a battery pack, and it's been charging 4 batteries, and they are fully charged. I believe I have a green light. Yep, fully charged. So that's a really nice little option as well. So all of these devices are excellent examples of how you can use renewable energy powered devices to power your life. Not only during times when the power is out, which these are very good for, but also just everyday use. There's one that I didn't speak about yet, but let's take a look at that one. So this is a BioLite camp stove. The BioLite camp stove is renewable energy powered. It uses twigs as its fuel. How it works is you put twigs down into the fire chamber, firebox, if you will, and light them on fire, and the twigs start to burn, and then they heat up this thermoelectric generator. The thermoelectric generator sends electricity into the batteries of this module, and then you turn it on. And as you can hear, a fan has started, and inside the firebox there's a swirling tornado of air right now, and of course that stokes your fire. And then that fire gets hotter, makes more electricity. The electricity powers the fan. Oh, and a USB port. And that USB port can be used to charge your devices or power this little light. So if it's nighttime, you can use the light to see what you're doing to get your fire going. Or plug your phone in, or whatever your device is, your GoPro camera, whatever. Well, while the fire's cooking, you're charging, and you're heating up your dinner with this really nice cooking kettle. And then when you're finished, pour your food in the handy included plastic bowl, and you're good to go. So between all of these devices, I can cook and keep my food cold and charge pretty much everything USB powered without any grid power. Oh, and of course, as you know, I power my car on sunshine as well. So if you're interested in how the car and the BioLite work in more detail, check out these links to 2 videos that I made about those 2 devices. Okay, so let's just say I wanted to know what the temperature of my food was. Well, if I opened and closed the GoSun stove while it's cooking, it's going to let out a lot of the heat and therefore lengthen my cooking time. So GoSun came up with this. This is a little thermometer, a cooking thermometer. It has a probe. I stuck it into the middle of a Brussels sprout, and I just loaded the stove a few minutes ago. The Brussels sprout is still frozen, and as you can see, it's 33 degrees. So I have set the timer to alert me at 200 degrees. It's Bluetooth connects to my phone, by the way, to this app, and it will beep at 200 degrees, and then my veggies should be done. So let's see how long that takes. It is 12:13 now. I loaded the stove at 12 o'clock, and we will see. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. The temperature has risen to 71 degrees. Excellent. In the meantime, while that cooks, I'm going to cook some cookies over here in the GoSun Go. Oh, by the way, notice I had to make the cookies into a long, narrow cookie because of the shape of the stove, but here we go. See what happens. All right, we have cookies cooking, we have veggies cooking, and the next thing, I need to get some salmon cooking as well. Over here in the GoSun Sport, I put the rest of the cookie dough. So we'll see how that does. Checking on the temperature of the vegetables in the Fusion, they are now at 122 degrees and climbing. It's been 45 minutes, so they went from frozen to 123 in 45 minutes. Now they're going to cook a lot faster. Okay, so I think the cookies are probably done. It's been about 30 minutes, a little bit longer than it would take in a normal oven. But whoa, look at the steam and look at those cookies. Yeah, they are done. So from the GoSun Go anyway, the Sport's still cooking. I'm going to take these and put them in a cool place and let them sit for a while. Those look yummy. Okay, I hear a lot of beeping coming from over here. And that means we've reached 200 degrees. Look at that, 204 degrees. But of course the phone is going to continue to beep until I acknowledge. Wow. Ta-da! All right. Veggies are done. Let's take a look. Look at all the steam boiling out. Oh, and the thermometer came out of the Brussels sprout that I stuck it in earlier. Oh, they're nice and tender. Oh yeah, very yummy. All right, now I'll take this inside and bring round 2 out, and we'll cook that up while we wait for the cookies down in the GoSun Sport. Okay, for the next round, salmon. And I've loaded the salmon into the cooking tray, and I've inserted the thermometer's probe into one of the fillets, and now we will close up the stove. Temperature is 59 degrees for those fish fillets. I have again set the timer on the Bluetooth connected phone app for the GoSun Thermo, and we will see how long this takes. The time now is 20 after 1. Let's check on the cookies in the GoSun Sport. Ooh, wow, I think I packed them in there a little tight. They're rising and touching the underside of the cooking tube. Not a big deal, but it might tear them up a little bit, but they will be fine. Because they will rise, touch the tube, and cook a little faster, and maybe stick a little bit. But luckily I do have a cleaning implement that came with the stove that will allow me to clean the stove out nicely when it cools down. So my cookies are finished from the GoSun Go. I decided to heat up some focaccia bread to go with my dinner. We'll see how that does. Let's go check on the cookies. Oh yeah, they're done. Look at that. Perfect. And so that was another 30 minutes for those cookies to cook. They're really dense, so it took a little longer. The ones down on this end are not completely finished. Maybe I'll give them another 5 minutes. I think I will. Okay, so I'm getting an alert that the fish has reached the desired temperature of 132 degrees, so let's take a look at it. Well, it looks like it's cooking pretty well, but I'm going to give it a little bit more time. A lot of fat coming out there. That's normal for salmon. Okay, let's pull out the cookies and check on them. Oh, they're done. Very done. Okay, maybe a little too done. Alright, let's go put those in a cool place. Okay, I believe my salmon is completely cooked now. It's at 179 degrees. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, it is completely cooked. Look at that. Perfectly flaky fish. Okay, time for some lunch. And to turn off the GoSun stoves, all you do is close them. Just like that. Let it cool down, put the tube back inside and store it for the next time. Over here on the little GoSun Go, bread is completely warmed. It's actually too warm. Wow! Okay, yum. Take that inside so I don't burn myself. Here is our solar cooked meal in the cooking trays for the most part. We still have, the 4 cookies over here from the first GoSun Go experience. But now we have homemade focaccia bread warmed up, freshly baked cookies, freshly steamed veggies, and then of course the salmon. So let's plate this and sample it. Okay, so there's my plate of food. Salmon, veggies, focaccia bread, cookies. Oh, and I almost forgot. Over here in the cooler, the GoSun Chill. What do I have down here? LaCroix. Nah, how about ginger ale? Yeah, there's some ginger ale. Ginger ale chilled by the sun. Seems a little backwards, but because we have a solar panel, we can convert that into electricity to run the GoSun Chill. So I think this was a pretty good success, great success. It did take 2 hours from start to finish, so that's quite a bit of time to cook one meal. But if the power was out and I had no other option, or if I was out somewhere in the wilderness, wouldn't have to build a fire, wouldn't have to use any kind of fuel other than the fusion reactor in the sky known as the sun. All right, well, that was a wonderful lunch. Now, it did take 2 hours to cook that lunch, and that is a long time any way you look at it. Now, we could have shortened the cooking time by thawing out the veggies beforehand, and then it probably would have been an hour and a half cooking time for everything. Also, I was doing things in series, so I cooked the veggies first, then I cooked the fish. If I had 2 stoves, 2 fusions going at the same time, I could have cooked the veggies and the fish at the same time in different stoves, or I could have loaded the veggies and fish together in one stove and cooked them all together. But I decided to do it separately this time. So if I'd loaded them together in one stove, it would have taken an hour and 15 minutes to do everything. And that's still quite a bit of time, but I wasn't going for cooking time. What I was going for here was to show that you can cook your food without the need of fossil fuels such as propane, charcoal, any other fossil fuel based cooking. Also, without the need of a grid connection to get your electricity to power your cooktop at home. This was all cooked with the sun. So that's just amazing that we have the technology today that allows you to cook your food with nothing but the sun, in sunlight or with the fusion, even in the dark. So check out GoSun. You'll be surprised at how amazing these stoves are and how affordable they are when you consider the cost of fuel over the life of the stove. And hopefully you'll consider at some point in the future going solar, not just for cooking, but for everything, for powering your cook stove, your house, your car, everything. So yeah, I guess that's it for me. Have a great day.